This is a 3-light setup. So in the background, I've got 2 lights. They're both hard lights with plenty of shadow, and they both got gels. The 3rd light is up here. It's the key light. It's another Flashpoint EVOLV 200, but this time it just has a grid. So I get directional white light onto Chloe. Underneath Chloe, we've got a floor that is slightly shiny. The final picture looks like this, but there is a secret ingredient, and that is a little bit of breeze to add some dynamism. But of course it didn't start here, so let's rewind and break it down. To help me out today, I've got the amazing Chloe. Chloe's going to be the model for this photo session, and normally I like working with soft light for nice soft edge shadows, but today we're going to be breaking that rule because I'm going to do some hard light portraits. Now, before I get near the lighting, I've got to get a couple of things right. So I've got a black background. I know I want a dark, low-key image, but to make sure that I actually have a dark, low-key image, I'm going to put some camera settings in. My camera's flash sync speed, 250th of a second, f8 for a good depth of field, ISO 200, and without any flash firing, I get this. No flash, no picture, which means I've got control of the room lights, and anything we see now is all down to my lighting. Usually I'd start with the key light, the one at the front that gives shape to your model's face, but today that's going to be a bit more challenging because hard light is a tricky light to get right, so I'm just going to stay in my comfort zone for a bit and just do some backlighting. Now I could just use one light and would get a sort of rim-lit look over Chloe, but why use one light when you can have 2? I'm using a pair of Flashpoint EVOLV 200s. You'll find gear links in the video description down below that will take you back to Adorama's website. And I'm going to position them roughly either side of Chloe. We can fine tune this as we go. I'm going to put them both on the same power. They're about 1/64th power. And if I take a photo like this, it should give me something like this. Now, by deliberately including the lights in the picture, which is a very conscious decision that's going to pay benefits later on when we might add some smoke. Nice as that is, I'm thinking maybe a little bit of a colored gel on both of the lights will add some warmth to this picture because it's quite a warm day in here. So let's recreate that with some colored light. That will affect my flash power. Now I could take a flash meter reading. I'm just going to eyeball this and say let's put it on to 1/32nd power, which is about a stop more than it was before. Here we go, quick little test photo. And yes, straight away that is a little bit more colorful, which I think is going to work better. And as a little bonus tip, I'm going to add this to the front of my lens. So this is a black mist or diffusion filter, and what it does is it bleeds the highlights from the flashes into the shadows of the background. I mean, it's not exactly smoke, but it's the next best thing, and that is definitely the look I'm going for. It's time to do the key light, and once again I'm going to use another Flashpoint EVOLV 200. This is the Pro Mark II. It's on 1/32nd power, but it's also directly in front of Chloe. You could call this the beauty lighting position if you like. It's not really ideal because when I take a photo like this, it comes out pretty flat lighting on Chloe. Now remember, I'm trying to do hard lighting. I'm trying to embrace the shadows, and although they're there, if I take this light and just move it to the side, not a lot, doesn't have to be much at all, that is going to give a bit more directional light on Chloe and give us a bit more shadows, but also that definite statement that I'm using hard light with shadows. But of course the question is, it works in horizontal landscape format. Will it work in vertical portrait format? Well, let's try, let's have a little go, see what we get. And the answer is nearly, because I need to do something about the floor. That doesn't work for me. So what I've done is I've changed the floor, because down here I've actually got a pop-up background that would normally be behind Chloe, but it's on the floor, and I'm using it as a frame to stretch out some faux leather look fabric to hopefully give me a slight shine from those backlights, because a darker floor with a bit of a sheen should fit in with what's in my head, and I can control the amount of reflection by angling the lights. There's just a couple of things I need to add to finesse the look, and the first one is this, which is a grid. It's a 7-inch grid, it goes into the 7-inch reflector, and I'll leave links to all the kit in the video description. It'll take you back to Adorama. But the reason I'm using the EVOLV 200 Pro Mark II is because it has a really good modeling lamp, and I can actually angle this and see it hitting Chloe's face, which is where I want the light to go, of course. Now, a grid will not make my light any harder. The shadows will remain the same. So now I've got less light on Chloe's legs, which adds to this feel quite substantially. The other thing I'm going to do is add a piece of black fabric to the white wall right next to Chloe, and that should stop any of the light bouncing off that wall and give me unintended fill. And that is this setup basically done. Now we can add a few extra elements as we go along, so stay tuned for that. But for now, I think we should take a few photos like this. So Chloe, are you ready? Okay, here we go. Even though I've stretched out the fabric on the floor, I can see Chloe moving around and wrinkles forming at her feet, but I'm not going to stop the photo session to fix those, because that's definitely something I can do in post-processing. To add a bit of movement to this fairly static setup, I'm going to use a fan. Now, you could use all sorts of different fans to create this look. I've actually got a small miniature leaf blower that never leaves the studio, and that's just going to put a little bit of movement onto Chloe's hair, and as it's a really hot day, probably help cool her down a bit too. I'm using a Smoke Ninja Pro to generate the smoke between Chloe and the lights. It looks really good, but when I get Sam to use the fan, that's just going to take this smoke and blend it all together. I'm going to lose that texture, but I gain a bit of haze. There's a really good reason why I saved the smoke right to the end. It's because once it's in the room, it acts a bit like a giant softbox, diffusing the lights, softening the shadows. And of course, this video was all about hard lights, so definitely keep that to the end. Now, if you've enjoyed this video and you want to find out what I've been using, check out the gear links in the video description. And whilst you're down there, why not click on the thumbs up button? And of course, leave me a comment if you've got any questions. But more importantly, click on that subscribe button. And if you want to see more videos about using hard light from Adorama, why not check out this video for your next watch. I'm Gavin Hoey. Thanks for watching.